know deep down in my heart that if I do not follow some type of weight loss plan, that I will be 500 pounds one day.
Twerk, 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 twerk.
Gentlemen, welcome. Please find a seat and relax. We have a lot to discuss.
Welcome one and all, I'm DC.
And I'm Casey.
And we are two goddamn gentlemen bringing you this time of the month and this time every future month a celebration of all things, throwing a bitch fit after failing spectacularly on the world's largest conceivable stage in the name of mental health. KC, it's finally here! You know about the Patreon, you know about the website, you're here, obviously. You get it. KC, what are the goddamn gentlemen in store for tonight?
Unrivaled beauty, grace, and hormone levels, DC.
They are unrivaled in many ladies. I'll give you that. That's a good point. I have an update that I'll get to, but it's kind of already sandwiched into my video. So we'll do it before my honoraries. It's quick.
That sounds good. As we do. It's a bonus show. We dive right the fuck in, DC. It is nomination time for me, and I'm very excited because what I've brought to you tonight is the head of the snake. Now,
Okay.
I have been exploring all the different parts of the snake throughout this ladies series, but tonight, you know what? A gentleman introduces himself, but a gentleman also introduces a lady. So let's let David Letterman do it.
Okay.
Our first guest is a woman of many talents. She is a film star, a recording artist, and an entrepreneur. This is her latest fragrance called Can Can. Take a look at this right there. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the lovely Paris Hilton. Paris.
Oh, yes. Thank you,
It is
KC.
time.
Oh, thank you.
You are very, very
This
welcome.
this is a rarity when a beauty finds their way onto this show in any form.
No, I don't think that's accurate. I've had plenty of airheaded, good-looking people featured on this series. DC, Paris born in February of 1981, so oof, boo.
Boo. Ruined.
Too long.
Spoiled. Rotten.
Yeah, in every way. Family money, obviously, we know this. But you don't know everything about a person until you do the research, DC. And she actually had a troubled youth in terms of she had to move a lot. And me, I lived in one house growing up as a kid. I stayed in the same neighborhood my whole life, had the same friends. So she, I'm sure, had a hard time. She had to spend time in the Beverly Hills, the Hamptons, and in a suite at the Waldorf Astoria in Manhattan. So that's tough to be moving around like that.
Yeah, but at least in all three of those places, nobody are friends. So
That's a good point. And that continued. She was described as a tomboy as a kid.
Huh.
She wanted to be a veterinarian when she grew up. According to her mother, she would save up her money to buy monkeys, snakes, and goats, which
you don't have to save up for a snake. You can,
just get quick. Yeah, no, and I was trying to figure out there's got to be some kind of a sliding scale with allowances, right? Because if I had saved up my allowance as a kid, I could not have afforded a goat. So
No.
Her allowance just was better.
A
than mine.
monkey? Could you imagine what a monkey costs?
Yeah,
Like,
monkey. Why did I go with
know.
goat? Goat's way cheaper than monkey.
It is.
She was raised in a sheltered, conservative atmosphere, not allowed to date anybody. She wasn't allowed to wear makeup as a teen or wear, revealing clothing. or
Dude,
go to
I think
school dances.
I think she was born Mormon, wasn't she?
So she went to private school in Provo, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
But I'm not sure I think she was born Catholic. I think it's a Catholic family, if I remember from what I read. Her mother, her mother enrolled her in etiquette classes.
Okay.
Her mother was a socialite, which is not a great word. There's a lot of words I had to type today that I've never typed before, and I typed them a lot. Socialite was one of them. Fragrances was another. A word.
Those are two good words not to know, though. Like, you look those up and you don't feel bad about yourself. They're like, how did I not know that? You're like, oh, good.
Yeah. I mean, I know them, but I don't think I'd ever typed them.
Yeah.
Paris didn't like the word socialite as a kid. She thought it wasn't real or natural to live that kind of a lifestyle, and good for her because she stuck by those convictions.
Totally.
the family social circle, like for me, it was like the neighborhood. Like we had the Riches and the Moriartys around the corner. They had Lionel Richie, Donald Trump, Michael Jackson. So,
Yeah.
pretty
Pretty much the
normal,
same.
some gentlemen there. She
Yeah.
played hockey in high school, which was surprising. And then we start to get into... Now, I think we've already learned what set her up for her future, right? Super protective, overbearing father, not letting her
Right.
do anything. This is what's going to happen when there's money involved.
High school in
So-
Provo, you know. it
That's right.
happens.
At 16, and that's where we're going. She starts getting sent around to a series of boarding schools for emotionally troubled teenagers. And when she was at the Provo Canyon School in Utah, there are lots of reports from her since then, and other people talking about different types of abuses, including solitary confinement, forced meditation, which, how does that work? And being restrained, hit, and strangled. You can't make me meditate. You might make me sit still. Like but that's solitary
Yeah.
confinement, maybe. Like that's part of the other one.
I will think about whatever I want, and it's not going to be what you're telling me to think about, because what you're saying is stupid.
Yeah, exactly. So DC, the career begins. She starts modeling as a teen, quickly becomes a socialite herself, and she is basically just going around New York every night. Just where can I be? And she starts getting photographed everywhere and starts making it into the tabloids, and that is how this career and now this new genre of living a life has become. She is just famous for being famous.
Right.
She signs with noted gentleman Donald Trump's modeling agency, T Management, at age 19. And she starts getting paid gigs around the city. Please show up to our club. Please show up wearing this dress. And all these things.
Yep.
2003 is when she reaches international stardom for one reason or another. Let's talk about The Simple Life first.
Yeah.
If you're not aware of The Simple Life, if you're one of these young kids these days, it was her and Nicole Richie, Lionel Richie's daughter, I believe.
Yeah.
Who lived with this dumb family in Arkansas, or they weren't dumb.
Family in
I didn't watch.
Arkansas.
Yeah, you're right. Fair enough. And the show was very successful. First episode, 13 million viewers on Fox, and the 18 to 49 demo, that coveted demographic, went up by 79% for that first episode.
So close.
Now,
Almost
why
went up
was
69%?
Why was that the case? What was The Simple Life released right around the time of? Well, never mind. We'll get back to it. Now, DC, back then, she was already fighting the stereotype that everybody thought that she was a dumb blonde and nothing more. And DC, that was not the case.
That is Earth.
That is Earth.
It's hot. Don't pollute. Look at all the pollution.
Look at all the pollution.
That's hot.
I heard that phrase 10 times maybe going through this, and I am going to dig my eyes out if I hear it again.
Yeah.
So she starts doing a bunch of shit, terrible shows. She releases a book, which was mostly pictures, and and starts releasing fragrances. She even hosted Saturday Night Live, which had no shot of being played on our show. No. YouTube would never allow it.
Fucking NBC.
And she starred in the box office classic House of Wax. Now,
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was a great performance. TV Guide called her talentless, which I thought was harsh.
She was only in the movie for like 5 minutes, wasn't she? Wasn't she like the first killed?
Sure. I'll pretend I've seen it for your question. She won 2 awards, though, for her performance. The first one, the Teen Choice Award for Best Scream, because it was a horror movie. And that was the second best one that she got after this.
And the Razzie for Worst Supporting Actress goes to Paris Hilton.
The worst supporting actress at the Razzies. Good for her. Oh, she's upset. By the fall of 2005, she'd published her second book, which was called Your Heiress Diary, Confess It All to Me, and then released more terrible fragrances. The Simple Life got canceled after 3 seasons, after Paris and Nicole remembered they couldn't be friends because they're women. They didn't talk about it publicly But there was speculation that Nicole might have shown like a private Paris sex tape to a group of their friends, which on this show, speculation is always fact. So that happened. The show had a comeback. Who gives a shit? We'll get to why it got cut short. Paris releases her title album because that's what the influencers do. I think everybody learned from her, and that's why we are where we are. Titled Paris. It actually got pretty good reviews, so I didn't pull any of it.
Good.
And she released a film called Bottoms Up, which surprisingly went straight to DVD. More music, more fragrances, more terrible clothes. And now we get to more fun stuff. September of 2006, Paris is arrested by the LAPD and charged with driving under the influence. And she really, DC, a .08. She was on the line.
Oh,
she was
sucks.
so close.
That sucks.
She was so close, and she's so thin. Like, she really could have gotten away with that
You
one.
could have just waited like 10 minutes and then just had her do it again. But
Yeah, she could also afford A, a driver, and B, to have a breathalyzer. Just buy disposable ones, or not disposable ones, but buy one for every day. You'll still be fine. Her license gets suspended. She pleads no contest to reckless driving. She then gets stopped a few months later in February of 2007 with her suspended license. And she has to sign a thing saying, okay, now my license is fully suspended. I can't drive anywhere. The next month, she's caught doing 70 in a 35 without headlights. Now, DCI, we've all driven buzzed, right? And you're just you're so careful. You're aware of everything going on. You're like, all right, I just got to get.
You drive better. You drive better than you would because when you're sober,
way safer.
You zone out for 10 stoplights and you're like, how the fuck did I get here?
That's right.
I don't remember that.
For Paris, she has a license that says don't get in a car, really, even as a passenger, we'd prefer. And she's going 70 at a 35 with no headlights at night with a suspended license. So prosecutors in LA County, they charge her with the infractions, and she has to enroll in a program, which she doesn't do. And that gets her into big trouble. And Judge Michael T. Sauer sentences Paris to 45 days in jail for violating her probation.
I remember that. Amy Schumer actually made a good joke. Oh, no, Sarah Silverman. It was Sarah Silverman made a funny joke.
Just as surprising.
Yeah.
So, she planned on appealing the sentence. She had an online petition that was going for her, which has never helped.
Can you imagine? The judge is like, oh, shit, there's 99,999 signatures on this thing. Too bad. She stays in.
And I have a pen. But no. Arnold Schwarzenegger was the governor at the time. They thought about asking him, but she changes lawyers. She doesn't appeal. And she tries to get out of it then with all the medical excuses. And lawyers argue that she's being made an example of, which was kind of fair. Like, she was getting sentenced for more days than probably somebody else would have gotten, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
And that brings us to what my favorite part of this research was. We started with the great David Letterman introducing her.
Sure.
And let's go back to that appearance on The Late Show.
New York City is exciting, though, isn't it?
I was born here, yeah.
Yeah, good for you. How'd you like being in jail?
So
right to the point.
So Paris had missed her last appearance on the show because she went to jail.
Sure.
And Dave knew what he was going to do going into this interview.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And he was so excited about it that I actually pulled this clip just to show you, because even he can't contain himself as he tries to ask a question.
And tell us, what now, looking back on that experience, what have we learned? What can you tell us? What's different about you going forward as you look back?
He's trying to hold it together. Now, DC,
great.
as you would imagine, she was not pleased.
She doesn't look it.
But Dave pushes forward.
It's just bizarre when you think about it, isn't it? That this was part of your life, that this actually happened to you, that you were in prison, for God's sakes?
I can't believe it either, but it's made me a stronger person,
Yeah.
so.
And what is it you did? Do you know what you did?
It's a fair question.
Do you know? Are you aware at all of anything that happened? He had some follow-up questions.
And well, you learned your lesson. Do you drive now?
Yes.
Yeah. And when you go out, do you still use alcohol? Do you drink at all?
If I have a driver, no.
You have a driver. Yeah, that's very important. If you're going to go out and you're going to have something to drink, you should have a designated driver.
Everyone should, definitely.
Yeah. Well, that's good. And do you have your friends treated you differently since you've been out of the slammer?
People think that I was really strong, that I went through it, so.
God, it was just ugly, wasn't it?
Letterman is just brutal.
Slaying. Her people must have been very rude to his people about her missing the other show or something.
I don't know
if we do her any favors.
Oh no, definitely not. And I don't know if we've gone past the clip. I didn't make a note of it, but it happens multiple times in both in this one and in other ones. You can see her, right? So if I'm talking to you for the interview, she'll do this when she gets annoyed. She'll to the publicist and then back, like just the most obvious. She does it here. I don't think we've gotten to it yet. So she's annoyed at this point, and she lets him know.
Have you made?
But I've moved on with my life, so I don't really want to talk about it anymore.
I know. Well, I appreciate that. See, now, this is where you and I are different, because this is all I want to talk about.
And he proves it.
Have you? Did you make any friends while you were in jail?
I'm not answering any more questions.
No more questions about
I'm
jail?
here for my clothing line and my movie and my perfume. I'm not here to talk about that.
So they talk about the food in jail for a while, but she's proven her point. Dave then transitions, trying to salvage this, I guess, or definitely not, and starts talking about how she can actually kind of turn this into becoming a bit of a role model. He talks about, kids can look at you as somebody who's rich and powerful and well-liked, and something like this can happen to them. Obviously, if it could happen to you. He asks her about that, and it goes really well.
Because in all seriousness now, this could be your legacy. This as a contribution to the young people of this country.
Love you too.
Yeah. Somebody you met in prison?
Oh my God.
Just relentless.
God. That was so good. Yeah, she's a modern day King Midas story. Everything she touches turns to shit.
There you go. February 2008. Let's move on from Letterman. She releases another great movie, The Hottie and the Naughty, which was a romantic comedy. We all know this, but I'll tell you anyway. Romantic comedy in which Paris played a hottie, and somebody else played a naughty, basically. There you go. She won another fake award, a Golden Raspberry for Worst Actress. So good for her.
Oh, good.
So she then bounced back, though, with a successful canine clothing line, which is good. We all needed that. And by the way, I know that her and Tinkerbell on Simple Life was kind of was that the start of the rich woman with the tiny dog going everywhere? She start that?
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
It's the worst. It's the worst.
Yeah.
All of those dogs are so ugly. Every last one of them, and they all shit everywhere. That happened. Like, I noticed that in like 8 different things of people like being around her. I was like, these dogs are so poorly trained. It's like, yeah,
Of course they're poorly trained.
Of course they are. Never a question.
Are they trained at all? I don't think they're trained at all. Not even.
Not even a little bit. The slightest amount. So she's responsible for the Trisha Paytasses and the Tana Mongeaus and all of these people, but also and pretty directly for Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
Kim was her assistant on Simple Life, and Kim has now risen to greater fame and popularity than Paris ever did, and that has not sat well with Our Lady nomination here.
Since then, Kim's popularity has skyrocketed far beyond that of Paris, and the House of Wax star hasn't been a big fan of her since. Who could forget her response in a 2008 interview about the Kardashians' famous behind, saying, "I don't want Kim's butt. It's gross. It reminds me of cottage cheese inside a big trash bag."
It's a great line.
Do remember that, and she's very accurate in saying that. But
very right.
If Paris gained 150 pounds, she too would have the success that.
Or if she gained 250 pounds, she could have the somewhat less success of Chloe.
Yes, somewhat less.
So, DC, I was actually really excited to get her perspective on your most recent lady nomination.
Oh, good.
Paris, say 3 nice things about Lindsay Lohan.
She's beyond.
Okay, that's one. That's a pretty nice one to say that she's beyond.
Lame and embarrassing.
Oh,
Almost.
It's too bad.
Almost did it. I didn't say anything that I thought was embarrassing about Lindsay Lohan last week, so I don't know what she's talking about.
Yeah, and lame
At
is
all.
completely out of left field. So then, and we all know this one as well, Paris, her next big one. I mean, basically her film career, what I noticed is like, I never put it together like the hits that she's actually had. It's almost Tarantino-esque. Like, we're on to her like 4th movie now, which we know was Repo, the Genetic Opera. And her iconic role as Amber Sweet, the surgery and painkiller addicted daughter of a biotech magnate. Cool.
Yeah, I've only known her in House of Wax and 2 other movies that you may not have heard of.
Might get back to that. DC, if you're keeping track, she now has 6 fragrances by this point.
I am.
Well, good. It's 6, and it grows. So now we're to August 2010, and she's arrested in Las Vegas with her boyfriend on possession of cocaine. And her defense initially claims that's not her handbag, and here was the direct quote from her defense. Quote, "The purse in question was a high street brand, and by no means up to her fashion standards." End quote. And then she claimed all the belongings inside the purse but the cocaine, so I guess it was her bag. She pled guilty to a couple misdemeanors to avoid the felony conviction. And then she bounces back, as she does. And another thing that you didn't know Paris Hilton did, December 2010, she launches a motorcycle team. And their Spanish driver, Maverick Vinales, wins the final race of the season and finishes 3rd overall in the 125 championship. So Paris, bronze medal winner in motorcycle racing as well. And then introduces a terrible footwear line. So
and probably bang the shit out of that motorcycle driver.
That's probably right. But actually, DC, I bet she didn't, and we'll get back to that. 2012 introduced a new line of sunglasses, and I saw one pair of glasses that she released, and they're full glittered across. And she goes, "You can't see out of them," but I just loved how glittery they were. So I got to get me a pair. She releases her 15th perfume by 2012. And she makes her debut as a DJ, and I watched a little clip of that. That was awful. She got caught on tape.
Oh, you're not going to play it for 8 minutes? Dang it.
She got caught on tape saying that gay men are disgusting and the ones that are having sex probably have AIDS.
Yep.
But luckily for her, it was 2012, so her whiteness and her money didn't overpower her being a woman, so she was forgiven.
Oh, okay.
Now, if she did that now, big problem. But 2012, you're okay. Nobody noticed that she was white then.
That's good. That's good.
Her wiki page reads like a list of terrible projects and collaborations I would hate to learn about, and I didn't. By the end of 2014, she was actually the highest paid female DJ in the world, which I don't think had anything to do with DJing. I think it was just everything else she was doing.
It doesn't have anything to do with DJing with the other ones either, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, good point. No, there's a lot of shit listed.
DJ period blood. Woo! Let's go.
Oh, it came out late again. There's a lot of shit listed on her Wikipedia page between 2015 and 2020, but all of us collectively chose not to pay attention then, so I'm sure we don't care now.
Right.
She's got catchphrases. We already talked about that's hot. Loves it. And sliving, which I had to look up. What is sliving, DC? Sliving.
Oh, sliving. That's like her. I heard this on who are these podcasts when they did her shit awful podcast. It's like awesome living or something like that.
Yeah, it's slaying living.
Oh, okay.
Basically, it's
go.
living your best life, but it's sliving. Here's a couple great ones. I have not watched enough South Park in my life, but I was delighted to learn that she was the feature of one episode titled "Stupid Spoiled Whore Video Playset." Great title for an episode.
Yeah, that was with Mr. Tiddlywinks, right? Or whatever.
I didn't see it, but
The hamster that crawls through her, or the gerbil that crawls through her fucking anus.
Is it the same one Richard Gere had, or is it a different one?
I think it was the Tiddlywinks. I think it was the same Shimmy Winks or something. I can't remember. The chat will tell it. It's funny.
Somebody
Go watch it. Somebody save me.
Here's another great one, and this one is just—it's fascinating. It's funny. It's got it all.
Mm-hmm.
She became the target of Banksy.
Cool.
At one point, 500 copies of her album, over 48 record shops in the UK, all disappeared overnight, and they were replaced by Banksy's alternative version. His rework featured remixes with Danger Mouse, and 3 of the track titles for the replacement songs were "Why Am I So Famous?", "What Have I Done?", "What Am I For?". He also changed the cover art to a naked picture of her.
Cool.
Yes.
Great work.
So Banksy always doing the right thing.
Yes.
DC, let's get to some bonus things before I wrap up my nomination. First, some Paris quotes. DC, if you will do us the honor of reading these quotes to us.
Sure. All British people have plain names, and that works pretty well over there.
That's a good point. Let's move on.
I love Africa in general. South Africa and West Africa. They are both great countries.
That's true. I couldn't do that.
West Africa is not a great country. It's the worst part of Africa, but whatever. Unless you want to go northeast with it. What's a soup kitchen?
It's a good question. Fourth one out of 5?
I'm going to have you move our images to get that
that's
one.
okay.
Or you do it.
I'll do this one.
There you go.
Every woman should have 4 pets in her life. A mink in her closet, a jaguar in her garage, a tiger in her bed, and a jackass who pays for everything. Torched it. Now, DC, if you would do the last one.
Yeah, she's got dad issues. Yes, I've kissed a lot of guys. I like to kiss, but that's it. Liars. I don't go home with anyone. I sleep with my animals like my baby monkey.
Yep. Good point.
That was a great point. Nostalgia.
Now, one of the worst interviews I've ever seen, listened to, there's video and audio of it, was Paris on Opie and Anthony.
Okay.
It was horrific. I heard this 8-10 years ago. Probably, definitely not live, but a long time ago. Boring, banned topics that they actually respected.
Nah.
It was a nothing. So it was rediscovered, and I didn't know this until I was doing my Paris research today, and YouTube knows that I enjoy the O&A show, so it gives me some suggestions. And apparently that this old interview was rediscovered in this new age of cancel culture. And here's the great Anthony Cumia expanding, courtesy the very fine Compound Media. Subscribe at compoundmedia.com. Please don't take this off our page. Thanks.
Here's the clip initially. Not the full clip, but the clip that was of merit.
What's it like to just be so completely rich?
I've worked for everything that I've achieved on my own. So I feel very blessed. I thank God every day.
Now, worked in what way?
So Anthony's a goddamn hero. And like I said, she didn't give him anything. Basically, she was blessed. They asked her about other people controversy or even just like in general controversy. And basically it was just, oh, I'm blessed and I wish everyone the best. And it was nothing. So Anthony continues. Now, this is a long clip, DC, but it's great. And it's also a tease to my episode 51 after we take our summer break. A tease to my comeback gentleman at the end. So long clip. Please enjoy the great Anthony Cumia.
Of course, I'm just going, stop. Stop it. Like, you're fucking lying. Stop it. Just stop. Well, that clip gets out. And then it was enough outrage just from that clip. And then someone had to post the entire clip of the entire interview. But just from that clip alone, people started going, who is this? How do we get them? How do we cancel them? How do we get mad at them? And they got a line on Opie. So they got Opie Radio. And Opie just started getting inundated with these, you better apologize to Paris. You're terrible. You're a misogynist. The funny thing is, it's me. I'm saying it, and I don't give a shit. Like, I tweeted to Paris Hilton, you were a vapid piece of shit. You gave us nothing. You want an apology? F.O. Opie's like, hey, I wasn't even maybe one of the three, and if you want to come on my show and talk about it. Like, they blamed him. He's the one that cares how he's perceived. And I'm just like, I don't give a shit. Which is, to me, is one of the funniest parts of this whole thing. So, yeah, other people and her fans started posting that we were very disrespectful. They're trying to cancel a show that was canceled 7 years ago from an episode that was aired 10 years ago. So, yeah, maybe this does mean cancel culture is coming to an end. They are really reaching. I'm going to cancel that Opie and Anthony show. Well, sorry. How about the Opie show? All right, you got to go to the beach. Go to the beach. If you throw some sand into his phone, it might cancel his show for a while.
So, Anthony is just the best.
That was great.
Now, speaking of Paris being bad at interviews, here's a great example.
Worry at times that the people who have followed in your footsteps, like Kim Kardashian, are overshadowing you?
No, not at all.
There's been some talk about the ratings in the show being low. Has that upset you?
No.
Never a feeling of, do you ever worry about your moment having passed? You want to wrap up?
She's like, I hate this man. Can I have him killed?
Yeah,
no, I have to sit here still? Okay.
What's the fastest way he can die? So, DC, my last clip. This was from The Simple Life. It was really hard to find, and I am not surprised at how hard it was to find.
With the finishing touches almost done, Paris and Nicole are ready for action.
I look hot. I feel like you look blacker than me. It's a whole new look for you. Thank you. I love it.
Blackface. That's not good. Disavow.
Wow. Beyonce face. It's not real black. It's like almost there. There's definitely some white in that bloodline.
Yeah, for sure. All right, DC. Paris Hilton.
That's great. A lady. I agree with you.
Undoubtedly. All right, honorary ladies. How about this lady?
Can you move? I'm doing my work. Can you move? Can you move on my work area? And can you stay away? You're too close to me right now. And you're not wearing a mask. Can you step away?
What a bitch.
Can you show me your papers?
Both fair questions. You're not wearing a mask. Where is it? You're Mexican. Where are your papers? Both.
That went on for a while. It was boring. Let's move on. Honorary number 2. Now, we have a couple of dipshits flying their, like, I don't know. It looks like a bayou boat, but it flies. You know what I'm talking about? Like the propeller, like the self-propeller, like plane things. I don't know what they're called. They only fly like 200 feet above the ground.
Okay.
Little hovercrafts, right? And they're flying around. This woman's pissed. And she might be overreacting, but I didn't see what was happening. So I'll give her the benefit of the doubt that she doesn't want these guys in her backyard.
Right.
But her argument, it needs a little work.
You guys have been
No one's an asshole.
So that you can have some fun. You're gonna endanger. You don't even live here.
Oh my God.
Do you own property out here?
I can't believe you, lady.
Do you? I just want to know. Do you?
We're not talking to you, lady.
What gives you the right? I just want to know what gives you the right.
We can't talk. We're just flying. We're just flying.
Oh my God, we're just flying.
You should go to the airport and yell at all the people
Let me
who are
just come ride
flying
my horse in your backyard. How would you feel about that?
Okay, not a great start. I'll give you that.
In the back of your yard. Would you like that?
Go to the airport and yell at all the pilots.
They have filed permission with FAA and they don't fly over my property.
That's a good point. Planes do not go over her property, and she's right about that.
Oh my God.
The planes don't fly over my house. Okay.
All right, lady. How would you like it if I rode my horse in your backyard? Do it. Do it.
The kids will like it. I don't know. DC, next honorary, another life lesson. I try to bring you a good life lesson every week from the
Thank you.
The young ladies of TikTok. Shouldn't say that. The young people of TikTok. Shouldn't say young. The people of shouldn't say people. Somebody on TikTok.
Hi there. You can either respect my trans homies, or I can identify as a fucking problem. And if I catch your bitch ass being disrespectful, your pronouns are going to be was, were.
Don't be disrespectful, DC. Don't do it.
Yeah.
She's making an appearance 2 lady shows in a row, DC, back to the White House press room. We have Jen Psaki talking about social media platforms. And they need to be regulated to stop fake news, which wasn't fake last year, I noticed, but now it is. They have multiple steps in mind.
Also with the public, with all of you, to create robust enforcement strategies that bridge their properties and provide transparency about rules. You shouldn't be banned from one platform and not others for providing misinformation out there.
Yeah, Russian DC loves it.
Love it.
You lay on one, you get banned from all. Good. Final one, DC. Young ladies giving a lesson on how to TikTok, but keep it interesting.
Very important. Crash. Yeah! Love those. Oh, those are my favorite.
Try not to
I could watch
TikTok
those
when possible.
No. Do it more. Do it more. If you've ever felt like, I shouldn't, it's so dangerous. No.
Come on,
It's not
what's the
that
worst
bad.
that could happen?
It's not that bad.
It doesn't
All right,
go viral.
Casey. That was great. That was great. Well, like I said, I've got one update before I kick off my honorary. So if you would for me, just go ahead and load up that video. It's the first image there. There she is. Still fat. Amber Lynn Reed.
Oh, Amber Lynn.
Still very much fat. They're trying to compare their chins. That's a contest you hope you don't end up in one day. Oh, man. No, my chin's bigger. 3.9 thousand people watching this, by the way. This little couch session they're having.
Wow.
Live on YouTube. I like to think that 3.8 thousand of them are just there to hate on them because that's what the chat reads like. So I take solace in that. But there she is, still alive, still probably full of cancers that they could never find.
No, they're well hidden.
Casey, speaking of cancers that are hidden.
It's actually going to be the phrase moving forward. No longer needle in a haystack. It's like, oh, you're never going to get a job in that town. That's like finding cancer in Amber Lynn. It's like, no chance.
That's like finding a polyp in Amber Lynn Reed's asshole. It's never going to be found. You don't even know which one is the asshole. You tire yourself out. You run out of time in the day before you pick the right crevice. So, Casey, you may know how much I hate BYU, right? I've given you some pretty good reasons why. I've got another one that I want you to read, and it fits well in the ladies of the night because this BYU fan is likening BYU's status as an independent school amongst all this conference expansion and shifting. They're hoping to get picked up. they're hoping to get picked up by a bigger conference, or at least this fan is. And the dilemma in his mind is he's likening to a hot girl. If you'll read the next image there, this is his take on the BYU forum.
All right. Let's see. BYU is like a hot girl, but has standards that only so many guys are interested in. Is it better for that hot girl to lower her standards and join a crappy, diluted Big 12 conference that ultimately will fall apart someday soon? The hot girl then has regret about the decisions she's made, and she hopes she can turn her life around.
Now, Casey, this is a sports site. This is a sports fan forum.
And so far, BYU is directly on path to being that woman in my honorary last time, going, ladies in your 30s, if you get me, you get me. But why does no one want to have sex with us anymore? So
flop. All right,
moving on. Or does she say I'll just date around by staying independent with hopes of continuing to schedule good games, so good dates, I guess. And if she lucks out, finds the guy of her dreams and gets engaged and married by getting invited to a legit Power 5 conference. Worst case, she stays single for the rest of her life by staying independent with the hopes of continuing to schedule good games. Not as good as having a happy marriage, but didn't end up having a child out of wedlock by lowering her standards by lowering her standards by joining a diluted Big 12 conference that will probably lose her status of Power 5. That last sentence was very, very concerning. So if BYU joins the Big 12, if BYU joins the Big 12, they're going to be like the drunk at the end of the bar for the SEC when they're on the road, and the SEC impregnates BYU, and now BYU has a little bastard SEC baby, and they're like, sorry, Big 12, I know we're not even a Power 5 conference anymore. I don't understand this analogy. This is bad job.
They're idiots. All of them idiots. I can't wait for September 11th. It's gonna be the worst thing that's ever happened to anybody.
That's the first time that's been said since the Taliban.
Yeah. We're putting a jihad on them, Casey. All right, next. Next we have a great cartoon, which if you're married, this really captures the essence. If you would, next image. This old man is hanged himself. He's got a letter on his chest, and it says his wife is staring at it. It says, "You misspelled constant criticism." So that's a lady.
That's awesome.
Obviously, Casey. These types of videos, the next video, they rarely disappoint. Go ahead and play the next video.
Uh-oh. Corn on the... Oh, her hair. Oh, shit.
Super smart. Super smart, Casey. Breaking down stereotypes. That's what we're doing. Breaking down stereotypes.
That's true, actually. Yeah, that was not what I was coming there.
Yeah. So, Casey, this next girl also failed spectacularly, but on the world's smallest stage. She was singing in the Willy Wonka musical, which I didn't know there was a Willy Wonka musical, but apparently this high school did it. And she's in the big blueberry suit, right? And she's singing a song about, I guess, blueberries, and fucking starts off too high in a sequence of notes that just get progressively higher. And by the end, she panics, and this is what happens. Awesome. Beautiful.
It's a goddamn lady right there. Give her
the goddamn lady.
Where's nomination, DC? She needs an award.
All right, Casey. This next video features an A+ slap delivered by this honorary lady to her ogling man.
Oh, yes. Excellent.
Fucking heroes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, Casey. There's no sound on this next video, but we can all assume and more easily imagine that this is a woman driving across this bridge. Explain to the people what's going on here.
Okay, so rushing river, very low, rickety bridge. Car's definitely going to put it too far down, and the water's just going to sweep it away. Yep. Yeah, in the water it goes. Yeah, absolutely no shot. And down goes the bridge.
Explodes the bridge.
And the car flips over, which is not good if you're in it. It's
not good bridge building.
No, but worse decision making.
Yes. All right, Casey. Without further ado, I sort of teased it on our gentleman episode last Friday night, if you're watching live. My nomination was Chris Chan. And I only got up through a certain portion of his life, and that was for a reason, because I'm continuing the Chris Chan saga tonight. Casey, next image, Lady of the Night, Chris Chan. You hate to see it. Literally, you hate to see it. When such a better specimen is on his wall, just directly over his head. It's too bad. It's really too bad. Now, I know what you're all thinking. You're like, wait, DC, you didn't tell us anything about this at all. Kind of, springing this on us. Well, it's kind of apropos, because Chris Chan, all of a sudden, just decided, there's no, as documented as his life has been up to this point, there's no documentation of Chris ever, like, feeling out the waters of being a little femmy or whatever. Just kind of all of a sudden springs it out on a friend of his in an email, and says he feels like he is a tom girl. So we all know a tomboy is a little girl who, has kind of boy interests and boy features and likes boy style and all that kind of stuff. Well, he thinks that he is the opposite of that and is a tom girl. And he embraces that and starts using it all over the place with this one specific friend of his that he emails back and forth. Her name is Jackie, but it's really a troll who's gotten his confidence for a long time and really mines the shit out of the lols. So Chris keeps calling himself Tom Girl, and the trolls create a website that any normal person would see as a troll attempt, but not Chris. It was called Tomboys and Tomgirls of Virginia. .com, presumably. .com, presumably.
Oh, no.
And he was pointed to that website where he made this post in the introductions. Go ahead and pull up the next image. It's hard to read because the section that is the funniest is highlighted, but it says introductions. Hello, fellow Tom girls. And every time I see that, I think of the freaking meme with Steve Buscemi. It's like, hello, fellow children. He's just wearing a fucking 50 in high school. Hello, fellow Tom girls. Y'all may address me by my screen name in the board talk. I like music, makeup, dressing up in my mini, having fun, hanging with my girlfriends, karaoke, video games, crafting, and art. And then he gets into the lie, which is not convincing at all, because it's the exact opposite of the truth. I am also empathetic, so I can understand other people's feelings as well as my own. Why? Why would you need to put that in there if you were not autistic? Why would you need to?
Hey,
oh,
DC.
Also, by the way, I'm empathetic, so I can understand your feelings and also my own.
Yeah, no, DC. I personally, I don't have any issue with anger. Like, I don't snap to like reactions ever in my life at all. Yesterday, I don't do it at all. Yep.
I believe you.
Yep,
I believe you completely.
And
Let's move on.
I thought that would be the one thing I should highlight about myself because it's the most true.
The most true. Yes. Yes. So, so here we go, right? He's now kind of embraced this Tom girl nature, but it's weird, right? It's like, what the fuck happened his whole life? He's been anti-homosexual, like anything like this. He's been very outwardly anti in his past up till now. I think, KC, and every superhero or supervillain, depending on what perspective you have of Chris Chan, every superhero needs an origin story. So there had to be some kind of like event that snapped his brain. And I think that I found it. A few months before...
How exciting, by the way.
A few months before this Tom girl revelation, Chris Chan made a video to his followers kind of explaining a little bit of a mistake that Chris made. And I think given Chris's nature and, his interests and what he holds dear in life, I think this incident broke him. Next video.
You all are aware of my recent dilemma with being able to download videos and digital comics being disabled. Well, I just got through talking with technical people at Sony, and they encouraged me to go through an option number 3 of searching for corrupted data and clearing that out. But there was a problem during that, and the system suggested formatting my internal hard drive. And there was a misunderstanding between me and the employee over at Sony Computer Entertainment America. And I said yes. Everything I have worked for since March 2007, since I started, save data, videos, music, photographs, everything that was saved on my hard drive. Gone.
Oh, yep, end it.
That's
Gotta go.
tough.
That's tough. To an autistic person.
Who
creates music and comics.
There's such a weird thing happening as the disabled guy talks about the corrupted hard drive, disabled data. It's
right? And like formatting
some psychiatrist could have that exact thought about him.
Do we push the format? Do we push the format button? They don't do that anymore. Lobotomies, they don't do that anymore?
No.
No, they don't They don't format hard drives anymore. It's against some kind of convention. So, that's tough. That's tough for him. And he loses his mind, I think, from this point, because he copes with the loss of all this by saying that all that was lost encompassed like his old lonely self, and that was his old lonely self dying with it, and now he can start new and fresh and weird, right? But he was much more susceptible to the trolls after this point, and this Jackie person convinces him to make a video for her. And he had already started kind of like growing out his hair and stuff like that at this point. You can't tell in this next video, but she always asks him to make really embarrassing videos of himself. This one, she asked him to make of himself impersonating a Dragon Ball Z, I think, character. His name is Mr. Popo. Do you know who Mr. Popo is, Casey?
No, I've never seen Dragon
Next
Ball
image.
Z.
Next image. This is Mr. Popo. So she asked Chris to make a video of himself being Mr. Popo.
No.
But
Paris did
Casey,
that.
even Chris Chan has to be smart enough to know that, okay, this is obvious. He would never do it, right? Next video.
Hello. Are your glasses for a genie? Mr. Popo.
Yeah, awesome. Totally awesome, I know. So he does it.
He did.
After Mr. Popo, Chris talked about being a tomboy out of nowhere. So that's right after this Mr. Popo video. He talked about now he's a tomboy. Maybe he's trying to cope with that. Tom Girl, excuse me.
Yeah.
And this is kind of what Chris's look is like at this point. Next image. Oh yeah.
Oh no.
looking something.
Looking like if Jason Segel got dropped on his head as a kid.
Yeah, looking like a bunch of strawberry jello was poorly packaged in the plastic wrapper and all trying to get out from different.
It looks like a corn dog in a beach chair.
So, he's still, though, for some reason, still very anti-gay, right? Even though he looks like this.
One more. It looks like if the Chucky doll had a baby with the headmistress in Matilda. Like,
it looks like Barbie and Chris Chan had a baby.
Ron Barbie, the guy down the street that paints houses.
Yeah. So he's still very anti-gay for some reason, even though he looks like this. And while he was telling his girlfriend online, Jackie, that he was a tom girl now with, all these feminine sensibilities, he said, "I'm still heterosexual, though. If not, I'd be a full-blown you-know-what." Casey, next video.
Gay! Okay.
That's right.
One confirmation on that.
Yeah, you know what. Casey, Chris is not a slow in the mind. All right, he's sure as fuck not a quick in the ass. All right?
He's not a quick in the anything, I would imagine.
He's not a quick in the anything. Quick in the mistake.
Quick in the palm, maybe. But aren't we all?
Well, aren't we all, Casey? Aren't we all? So, he kind of, after this point, he pioneered, like, the LBGT bathroom scandal movement. Because this was, like, 2011, when he was talking about, I like dressing up as a girl now. I want to go in the girls' bathrooms. I feel like I'm a lesbian. Like, he was the, like, first autistic horseman of the trans apocalypse, right?
There's a picture of him on Yaniv's wall.
Yeah,
I love
it's his hero. It's his fucking hero. He patterned his life after him, but failed miserably in being as cool. So
that's a miserable failure. That's about as big a failure as you can get, is not being as cool as Chris Chan.
There's like that, and then just above that is Simone Biles. Simone Biles is a huge, bigger failure than that, but just barely above it. So yeah, he was saying he felt like a lesbian doing all this stuff. His dad is Bob is getting really sick at this point, so he doesn't really. I think he said that he called him a faggot, but other than that, like he didn't really have much to say about the matter.
Love Bob. Still love Bob.
Yeah, still love Bob. But Barb, his mom, she pulled a sneak attack haircut on Chris, where she just couldn't take it anymore, ran downstairs, and like forcefully sliced 3 inches off of his hair everywhere because she was done.
She held a camcorder and put the Jaws music behind it, like Jackass.
Yeah. So after she cut his hair, Chris says in like a Facebook post or somewhere, he writes that after his mom cut his hair, he yelled at her and called her a bitch. And then he immediately was like, "Oh, that makes me a son of a bitch." And then he was sad. It's like the most autistic thing ever. It's
Jesus
the best.
Christ. Yeah,
I love him, dude.
That's the fastest circle in history.
Like, so funny. Cell phone. Oh. So trolls keep calling him gay now because pictures of him leak, and they blame it on the Sony leak. Like, oh yeah, your Sony PlayStation shit got leaked, and that's how all these people found out about it. It wasn't me. It totally wasn't me just giving it to everybody every time you send it to me, like right away.
Because your Assassin's Creed account has all our emails in it. That's how it got leaked. Like, fucking idiot.
Fucking idiot. So the trolls call him gay from all these new pictures of him and shit like that, and all these stories he keeps telling about himself. And they claim to see him at gay locations, like gay bars and gay clubs and stuff like that.
DC's
in DC's house, DC's basement, that nobody knows I have. Gay bars in New York City, and Chris
I wish you went to a gay bar in Orlando a couple years ago.
Yeah, oh man, this close. I was almost there, but my gun jammed, so I had to leave. So just kidding, guys, it didn't at all jam. Chris didn't take that well at all. He did not take it well, and he made a response video or two claiming to know details about these trolls who were fucking with him, and if they didn't meet his demands, which was like $1,000 cash in unmarked bills, like it's $1,000. It's not $1 million. It's $1,000 in unmarked bills sent to his house in a white envelope with their return address clearly labeled on the envelope and all this crazy shit. Anyway, go ahead, play the video.
Correction, that I, Christian Weston Chandler, am straight, and I have never, ever been in a damned gay bar, ever. And I want that uploaded among the New York City billboards, and I want them left up there for 1 whole week. Stay tuned for another revealed troll, or slightly revealed, as I am on the payback! I win.
So pimp status is clearly secured.
Yeah, and by the way, good for him, because I remember that week. I remember the news that week going crazy, like, who is this guy on the billboards that's not gay? He's never been in a damn gay bar in his life. And they're all over the place.
That's who it was. It was Christian Chandler. He's never been in there. So Chris goes on, goes about his straight guy business. Next clip.
Now it's time for makeup tips.
Yay! Makeup tips. All right. Casey, now he goes on, does all his makeup and stuff, but I won't bore you with that. I'll just show you the final reveal because it looks so great. Next video.
And that's pretty much a basic way of applying makeup. Tell him Kaka sent ya.
I will. Tell him Kaka sent ya.
Oh no!
I don't think I've laughed harder at anything than tell him Kaka sent ya. I'm gonna say that to everybody. Oh.
Tell him Kaka sent
you. Yeah. Hey, I'll see you at the restaurant. Tell him Kaka sent you. What? Oh shit! It was so funny. All right. So moving on from that. Casey, there are more trolls, as you can imagine, that Chris blasts online. One of them is one of these tomgirls and tomboys of Virginia trolls. His name is Jack Thaddeus, but he also goes by Hanavia. I don't know. They both names come up in this next video of him slamming him, but like a true gentleman, Chris acknowledges common ground a lot and weirdly. Next video.
And we happen to share similar common interests, a few of which we both accept the adjective of being called trannies.
That's a noun.
Except for him, he's just going through the whole gender changing operation. Yeah, slopping off his dick and putting on the old and getting it tucked in. I would never do that. I would never do that. Never have a sex change operation. I'm proud to be a male, and I'm even more proud to be a tom girl. And we both are into femdom, which is female domination.
Ooh, Casey's interest is piqued. All right.
No shock face needed, DC.
Yeah.
That's for what Kaka sent.
Okay, then he goes into some more weird gay bashing. Next video.
And also my associate that gave me the information on him, he pretty much just pointed out calling him a tom girl, but you know what? He's not a tom girl at all. He's just a full-blown gay. Anyway, 25-year-old Hahuvia Homo. pretty much it. We do agree on being cross-dressers.
Okay. End on the high road.
That's the worst camera shot ever.
I wasn't looking. What was it?
He was in it. Let's just
tell us what you saw. Okay, so
nothing chopped off. I know that.
So in addition to Jack Thaddeus, there's this other troll whose name is like Trorg or something weird. Some Star Trek nerd shit probably. Mm-hmm. And this guy, I guess, collected watches, or the troll said he collected watches. Whatever the case may be, Chris makes this banger diss track, and I can't stop listening to it, Casey.
Wrist, I said no, wrist, I said no, wrist, I said no, wrist, I said no, wristwatches, wrist, I said no, wristwatches, wrist, I said no, wrist, I said no, wristwatches.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful song.
What the fuck is going on?
Apparently that was supposed to anger this Trorg guy.
I'm Trorg, and it worked.
So, Casey, this is where we cross timelines now, because I did mention on the Gentleman's Show that Bob died. That's an important part in any gentleman's life. But he had already been on the path to being a little... ladylike. I just didn't include those details. So anyway, now it is September of 2011. September 11, Bob dies, and his family takes it well. His first family, ex-wife and kids, they take it well. They come to the funeral, and they're cordial with everybody and all that. But Barb clearly loses her mind, because imagine you and your geriatric husband have this kid. He was like 54 when he was born, I think, something like that. Mm-hmm. And now your husband's dead. You were like 20 years younger than your husband, so you got another 20 years with Chris. That's a rough fate.
Yeah, I was initially picturing Bob and Barbara on like the Toy Story 3 conveyor belt to fire, where Barb has to watch Bob go over, knowing that she's going over too. But no, it's like a 20-year conveyor belt. You're right. It's way worse than that. It's like, no.
It's way worse.
Bob's way down there by the lava. You're here with Chris.
Yeah. You're still in Sid's bedroom. He's fucking with you every day. So the funniest part, well, there are two funny parts about Bob's death. First, the Reaper dream that Chris had. I guess like 6 years before this, he had a dream that the Grim Reaper was coming for his dad. And he's like, when is my dad going to die? And the Grim Reaper said 2015. And he died in 2011, so Chris now has beef with the Grim Reaper. Because he lied to him in his dream. Yeah. So that's not great. So that was the first funny part, is that he's mad at death. The second part was the obituary, because I didn't know anything about Bob's other family except that he had one, ex-wife and a couple other kids. 'Cause he didn't, I guess the break was really bad, and him hooking up with Barbara, who was his secretary, and then having a kid with her really just, disfellowshipped him from his, yeah. What big mistake, Bob. But in the obituary, it says he was survived by his wife, Barbara, and his son, Chandler, and also by his ex-wife, Patricia, and their two shared children, Dr. David Allen Chandler.
Oh, no.
Bob's other son.
Bob.
Dr. David Allen Chandler.
Get away from the secretary, for God's sake, gentlemen. For God's sake.
I don't know what he's a doctor of, KC, but this is going to be a fun game. Here's Dr. David Allen Chandler's picture. Next image.
Oh, boy.
I already know. He's a pediatric OBGYN.
And that's just his side job.
Yeah, his real job is a podiatrist.
Yeah. Oh my god, what a goon! Look at this guy.
He looks like a pharmacist. Actually, he's probably a pharmacist.
He does look like. That was my initial thought. Was that
a
he looked
shit
like a
shirt,
pharmacist.
a shit shirt, a shit tie, and a lab coat they gave you.
Yeah,
Oh,
he looks
man.
like he looks like the first guy kicked off Hell's Kitchen.
He looks like the first guy that dies in prison.
That's here, piggy.
Yeah, exactly. Oh shit. So that's Chris Chan's stepbrother.
Yep. Oh,
or half brother rather, half brother.
Who wants a mustache ride?
Nobody. So, okay, Casey, so that's one other crossover. The other crossover, and this is not a crossover in the timeline, but you remember Game Place, his special place that he got kicked out of a band from. Got booted. After Bob's death, Chris was, I guess, in the area, as he probably drives by every day. He saw that there was a sign that said, under new management. And he was like, oh, shit, I'm going to get back in here, right? So he goes back in, and it's that same guy, Michael Snyder, the guy that kicked him out and banned him. And he's like, fuck. So they have a blow up. Michael kicks him out. I'm sure he has a restraining order against Chris. So they get kicked out. Chris is with his mom. They both go out to the car, and I guess Michael Snyder went out to the parking lot with them. There's not a lot of fact involved in what happened next, but both Chris and Barb got charged with failure to remain at the site of an accident. So they hit Michael and then ran from the scene. But
Hit
the
him with
thing
what?
is, their car. They hit him with their car, and then the funny thing is that they both got identical hit and run felony charges, which means that one of them hit him, they got out of the car, switched places, and then the other one hit him, and then they ran, which is awesome. Not for Michael, but
Come on, you said 5 minutes. It's my turn to run him over.
Yeah. He's almost dead. Come on. You're wasting all the good squishes. So
We barely have enough gas to run him over 3 times and get home. How many times are you going to do it alone?
Are you going to put him in the trunk so we can take him with us? No, I didn't think so, Barb.
I'll do the digging. I can dig. I'll do the digging. Like I never dug a hole before.
I'm autistic. I dig holes all day. And then I fill them in, and I scream that the dirt has more than I could fit in the hole.
I dig holes all day, and then Mom tells me to stop doing that as she wraps the bandage around my arm.
Yeah. I've dug through all my fingernails. I don't have fingernails anymore. So, let's see. The police report gets both of them for hit and run, and then gets Barbara with an assault on a police officer. So after they were stopped, she assaults the police officer, and fortunately...
This is Barb saying, "Fuck it, arrest me, please." They're not going to put us in the same cell.
They don't put boys and girls in the same cell, right? Even if it's your kid? Oh, perfect.
Run him over again, kid.
Punch right in the face. So, luckily, Bob has left Barbara and Chris with like tens of thousands of dollars, after he dies. Barb uses it all on a lawyer for this incident, which sucks.
Damn it. Everything Bob did in the first half of his life got fucking completely
completely fucked. It was not a good lawyer, I guess. Next image. Oh yeah. Oh no, this was. Oh sorry, I forgot about this completely.
This is the front of the car, right?
This is they
hit him with.
I wonder how they knew it was his car. The license plate says fucking Sonichu. Do you remember the license plate? Yeah, it's embedded into my chest. Hold on, let me read it here. Yeah, Sonichu. That's right.
Oh god damn it!
So, okay, so the next image shows not good lawyering because he allows Chris to make this post or doesn't get him to delete it fast enough. I still want to make memes talking about fucking Michael Snyder's life, the emotional hell he has turned my life into. Somebody please kill his girlfriend. That's not okay.
No,
that could very loosely be translated into soliciting murder.
I don't even think it has to be loosely translated. I think that's soliciting murder.
Well, because he said please, you know.
He did. He was polite about it, which I think gets you time off.
I think it does. In court, which inevitably this went to court, their lawyer tried to use the autistic thing to help Chris out. But I don't think anyone told Chris because he got visibly upset when the lawyer said he was high-functioning autistic and he was basically a child. Chris got really mad about it.
I love when that happens. I absolutely adore when that happens.
So
it's like, we'd like to plead the fifth, or plead not guilty due to insanity. It's, I'm not crazy. It's like, oh, you didn't know you were going to do that? He's crazy. You can't spring that on him.
Seriously. So it does go to court, and Michael asks the judge to allow Chris and Barb to take plea deals, and Chris takes that well. Next image. This is a conversation. The judge says, "Do you understand that you were to pay Michael John Snyder for his medical expenses?" Chris replies with, "Yes, but I don't think that thieving liar deserves a red cent." In court. Just yelled that, which is
beautiful.
Awesome. Which is awesome.
Mentally stable, for sure.
And this is an artist's rendering of Chris in court. Next image. This was my favorite image, I think.
Oh my god.
It looks like your Karen. We could use that for your Karen
it's like
image.
They started to draw Barb. And then decided
oh, wait, shit, that's Chris.
Yeah.
Just change a couple things and it's still okay.
That's horrific.
Yeah, so that's him in court.
I wouldn't have signed my name if I would have court.
Yeah. Casey, we have more internet spurg beef. Did you ever think in your life that you would deal with internet spurg beef?
I didn't realize until this show started that I would know what the word spurg was. So, nope.
So, Fat Man, you may know of him.
Is it the mirror guy?
I hope not. I didn't know who he was. Dude, Casey, the fucking Google searches that I do for this show rarely disappoint, and this one was no exception. Next image. Obviously, I searched Fat Man YouTuber.
Oh.
To which Google said, "Did you mean Fat Man YouTube?" Obviously. Obviously I did. Thank you. Just show me.
Look at this guy.
This horrific picture of a oiled up, soapy, fat gentleman. His name is Christopher Paul Whitney. He was born in 1980, age 41, is a morbidly obese. We fucking know. Thank you. We saw the picture.
He's 4 morbidly obese.
Schizo-affective former YouTuber who was popular under the nickname Fat Man, known for creating hundreds of videos 15 years ago, consisting of him primarily eating copious amounts of unhealthy food and showing off his obese body, in addition to singing. That's don't forget about that. Don't forget about the fucking singing.
They all fucking sing, don't
they?
They
all fucking sing. Casey, this hundreds of videos, this is going to be a future gentleman. Mark it down.
Oh, thanks.
Fat Man.
Great. Can't wait. Fat Man.
So the beef between these two idiots was that the trolls told Chris Chan that this guy, his real name was, what was it?
Christopher Paul Whitney?
No, Alec Benson Leary. Oh. And that he was just pretending to be this guy and that he was putting subliminal messages into his YouTube videos to troll Chris. So Chris called him out saying he stole a bunch of Sonichu shit or something, and he has no idea what he's... So Fat Man makes a reply video, and for some weird reason, it's a censored video. Go ahead, next clip.
Fat Man here again, and I just want to say that Christian Weston Chandler, or CWPC, or whatever his dumbass name is a dumbass, folks. And he's a dumbass because he thinks I stole some Sonic Shoes shitty characters or he thinks I'm Alec Benson Larry, but I ain't no Alec Benson Larry. My name's Christopher Paul Whitney, folks. I live in Rough Knot, not San Antonio, Texas. This guy is such a fucking dumbass, folks, okay?
Okay.
Fuck, I hate that guy. Oh, I fucking hate Fat Man.
So Chris has a beef with him, I guess. That goes places. He does other things. Chris thinks camel milk will cure autism.
It doesn't? What?
Probably does. And his sex needs, Casey, are getting crazy, and they need to go right to Facebook. Here we go. I need some sex. I am no different from everyone else on that topic. I get horny. I think about it often. I'm dreaming of inserting my rod A into female slot V. Okay, that doesn't, it's B, whatever. Followed by some lost genetics. Get it?
Yeah, I got it. Fuck.
Being an adult virgin sucks. Abstinence is a joke. It is a joke. I laugh at it every fucking time. It's great. I am lonely. I am tired of being ignored and overlooked in public by women. I need some sex. There's a combination of 15 likes and laughs. I like to think it was 1 like and 14 laughs. 7 shares, though.
Women do this for a living, Christian. You could pay for this. They'll...
KC, that's exactly what he does.
Yeah, good for him.
And this is exactly what he looks like at this point. Next image. Any prostitute's dream.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's like, oh, God. Well, at least I had my favorite lunch today because now I die.
Like, ah, shit. This looks like a librarian that started like way sad early. Like she was. Right? Like, oh shit. Nah, you're not even 40 yet. You're a librarian? All right.
She looks like Jeff Daniels playing Anna Nicole Smith.
Or Anna Nicole Smith playing Jeff Daniels.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's terrible. Whatever it is, it's terrible. And
it's not good for sure.
I found an online explanation, basically storytelling description of what happened in this encounter from Chris's point of view, but it reads too... it doesn't read like Chris. I didn't bring it in because I didn't believe it was him, and it was just weird. Like the details were weird, so I was like, nah, whatever. It's not him. But he did have sex with a prostitute. That much is confirmed because allegations are a fact here.
That's true.
So that's what he looks like at the time. Oh, and so trolls start fucking with him now that he's out and saying, I'm not a virgin anymore. He like shouts it out to everybody, right? Obviously. So
sure.
He's like, I'm not a virgin anymore. I'm not a virgin anymore. And trolls start photoshopping images like this. The next one here. As you can see, it's a church. First Assembly in Charlottesville. Says C.W. Chandler, Ruckersville. Sexual deviant. See Sonichu.com. And he loses his mind. He thinks this is actually up in Charlottesville, that like there's a church blasting him. And Sonichu.com is obviously this troll site that is the Wikipedia of Chris Chan. It's shocking how much information is on that website about this guy. Oh, by the way, we're still only in 2011, 2012, and
still active.
The videos that I'm finding of him were Chris Chandler Comprehensive History number 35, 36, and 37. There is now a 58 that just came out like a week ago. So we are in for a series of Ladies of the Night featuring Chris Chan. So don't you worry. It's going to be...
Jesus.
Oh, yeah. And this fake poster campaign, like this next poster, which I just think is really, really fucking funny. Chris has no empathy, so show him none in return. 2012. Chris lost his mind.
He said in that post that he has empathy.
They didn't read that post, obviously.
That's too bad.
It is too bad. This is a fucking haggard picture of him too, and
They
that's
all
saying
are.
something.
Do you see? He's a haggard-looking man.
Let's not forget. So these campaigns obviously drive him crazy. He's looking more and more like a girl, or some semblance of a girl, and in true girl fashion, he's not getting along with other women. Next image shows that. He tells of an experience he had. I've just been discriminated again at the McDonald's at Forest Lakes. Do not go there either. Or if you do, throw newspaper in the damn old bitchy black woman's face. And he took a picture of her. That's her. I didn't just find some old bitchy black woman. That actually is the lady that he wants people to hit. And he backs that up by summing it up better than I could ever sum it up. Casey, next video.
I want you to listen to me here. I am all for equality, but there is a limit.
Then you're not all for it.
No.
Oh shit! The blackface.
Chris Chan, everybody. Christine Chan, excuse me, as
Chrissy Chan?
she goes by now. Christine. Yeah, how about that?
Well, normally I would say like beautiful or something, but nope.
Nope.
Jesus
Beauty and the
Christ.
Beauty and the Beast.
I can't wait for the next installment. I can't wait to learn more.
I'm gonna push it out. Every 5 or 6 maybe. Won't get stale.
DC.
Yeah.
This was a blast. Thank you to everybody in chat in the Discord, and being on the Patreon, and for everybody that didn't see it live, make sure you check out the Friday show too. The Gentleman Show will be a goddamn blast. DC, it's your close.
We did our best to bring in 2 of the ladies of all time, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be next 2 weeks. Back at it again. Casey, we'll see you then.
Suburban women.
I'm looking for a very beautiful white girlfriend.
Meeting adjourned.